Okay, welcome everyone. How are you today? It's good to have you back here. So sorry that we are starting late. I've been waiting for the main host of the show. Okay, I'm just an anchor. So as you're joining me, tell me your name and your city. We're looking at the role of apprenticeship in enterprise development with Dr. Cosmos Maduka. This is his monthly mentorship program that he does as a way of giving back and helping and mentoring younger entrepreneurs on how to move to the next level. So as you're joining me, tell me your name and the city you're joining me from. I'm joining you live from Texas, okay? Richmond, Texas. We have Boye from Lagos. We have Chimaroke from Milton Keynes. Okay, that should be in the UK. Oyeladun Peter Maboro, Ogun State. Tayo Shonyobo, Lagos. Tayo from Nigeria. What city, Nigeria? Tayo. Abba France, Gideon from Abuja. Tiva Price Onitsha from Wari. Your name is Steve Price Onitsha and you're from Wari. Interesting name. I have John Adeloye from Ogun State, Desmond from Lagos, Folake from Abuja, Zion from Ibadan, John Ebi from Lagos State, Nigeria. I have Abola Dave from Lagos State, Nigeria as well, Victory from Abuja. Somebody said Atlanta, Georgia, but what's your name? Omi from Kano. Yajin Daddy Omi, how are you? Victor from Cambridge. Okay, how's the UK today? How's Cambridge today, Victor? Hope you're doing fine. Somebody said Philippines, but what's your name? So tell me your name and then the city you're journeying from. Don't just type your city without your full name. Tolulope from St. Kitts and Nevis. Wow, one of the most beautiful places I visited is St. Kitts and Nevis. Right, I think I visited St. Kitts 2019 or 2020. I love it. Beautiful island. Hello, I have been trying to reach out to you. I'm a graduate student from Thomas Jefferson University here in the US. I have BSc in architecture in the UK with first class. Okay, how can I help you? Lafia, okay, Umi, well done. So Ajafek says I work both in UK and Nigeria. Architect Alex from Philippines. Okay, welcome Architect Alex. Yes, I've been to that for vacation. It was a boat cruise, so we passed through St. Kitts and Nevis and we had a great time in St. Kitts. Yeah. Okay, Laura from Abuja. How are you, Laura? Welcome, good to have you today. I have good evening, sir. I am Oluwafumilaya from Sangota, Ogun State. I hope to be great like you, as I know you are a hardworking mentor. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Let's see. Joshua, I'm still waiting for Dr. Cosmos. I've been here for a while. Okay, who else is here? So tell us your name and your city while we're waiting for Dr. Cosmos. Your name and the city you're joining us from. So Engineer John Lewis, Ofe Ebu, MSc Power Semiconductor, Directional Driller, ADNOC, Abu Dhabi, UAE. Nice. I was in Doha. Oh, Abu Dhabi, that's UAE. Okay. I thought you mean Qatar. Okay, that's good. Abu Dhabi. When last was I in Abu Dhabi? I was in Abu Dhabi, I think last year. Right, I had a great time. I normally stay in, is it Yash Island? And I had a good experience, lodging there and moving around the Yash Island. Yes, Yash Island, fantastic. Myself, my family, we had a fantastic time there. And then I left my wife to continue. So it was like a vacation with the kids. So me and the kids, we left my wife there so that she could spend a few more days on her own. But we had a great time. Ajafex says, I want to participate in your project at Texas. I'm presently at Philadelphia, but my brother house is at Katy. I will not mind to showcase my knowledge and work with you. Ajafex, first of all, are you a licensed architect? Right, so here in the US, we can't do anything with anyone that is not a licensed architect. We have enough architects that work with us in Nigeria. All right, so, but if you're an architect and you are not licensed, we honestly cannot employ you in a full-time capacity and then pay you. It won't be something we can do because all the work we do here, we need a licensed architect to work on them. Okay, we need a licensed architect to work on them. So, as you know, the US is full of regulations, and you have to do everything by the books, by the laws, and by the regulations. So, I've gotten a lot of people reaching out to me about how they want to work with us. Somebody was a surveyor as well. He want to work with us here in the US because he's also in the US. But the challenge with all these things is, once you are not licensed in the US, it's difficult for me to give you a job. Right? Once you're not licensed. Right? If I give you the job, the challenge is to license people. So we don't want to run into trouble in the quest of trying to help people. But you can work as an intern. You can learn sales, and that one is easy because it's easy for us to pay you for helping us to sell our properties here. So you can. Hello, sir.
Yeah, good evening, Dr. Steven. How are you today?
I'm good, and you? How have you been?
I can't complain. I'm out of the country, but I agree we do this today. How has it been with you guys?
We're fine. We're doing great.
Good.
God is good. How was your trip? So you're in the UK?
No, I'm not in UK. Actually, I had a speaking engagement in Kampala, so I came in here. That was on when was it exactly? On Friday last weekend. So I spoke on Friday morning, evening, Saturday morning, evening, and yesterday, Sunday. So try to take some. I'll be heading back to Lagos tomorrow.
Oh, okay. No
Yeah.
problem. You're welcome. It's good to have you here. Our topic today is the role of apprenticeship in enterprise development. the role of apprenticeship in enterprise development. I hope you are comfortable enough um, for us.
Trying to. I don't think it is this too clear enough. It's not because I
We
wasn't
can
in my.
we can see you.
You can
It's
see.
okay. We can see.
Oh,
Yes, it's very fine.
okay. I just,
From our end here is okay.
okay.
Um,
Okay. That's very
yes.
important. I'm just trying to be sure that it
Now,
was good enough
yes,
for you.
from our end here is, and I like your suit. Your suit looks good.
Thank you. Just, just let me get my eyeglass.
Okay, no problem. Okay, guys, so as you're joining, tell us your name and the city you're joining us from. Remember to invite your friends and tell more people. Today's topic for me is very, very important, right? Because if particularly young graduates, so if you can help me share this link to a lot of young graduates, and my argument is that what is missing in the conversation um, is more around young graduates. If young graduates can understand the power of apprenticeship and deploy it, nothing can stop you. Right? So UK is here, London is here, Lagos is here. I can see Sylvester from Lagos, Topper from Lagos, Ademola from Bristol in UK, Chukwe Buka from Abuja, Arinze from Inewi. Um, I can see Cyprus is here, Victor from Canada is here, Dennis is watching us from Delta, Undubisi from London, Racini Ibe from Newcastle, Abuja, Joe from Aqua. You're welcome. Like I said, share this with as many young people as possible. Because why we picked today's topic, like I said, is because a lot of young people keep complaining about, oh, I'm a graduate, there's no job. Oh, I have master's, there's no job. Oh, I have PhD, there's no job. Or I've been working and I'm underpaid. I think my boss isn't paying me well. And my argument is if you can understand how apprenticeship work, you understand that you can turn everything around, leveraging on apprenticeship. And if you summarize Dr. Cosmos' journey in the business world, and you want to summarize it into one, it is what how apprenticeship can change a man's life. That's really what you can summarize it to. Because despite not going to a university, he's built a multi-billion-dollar corporation, starting with just the knowledge he got as an apprentice and then leveraging and building on that. So I really look forward to today's conversation. If you have questions, there's a question mark icon on the right side of your screen. Click on it and drop your question there. And we will be able to take as many questions as possible. And I can assure you, this is one of the most exciting series you will have ever listened to us talk about. So once again, you're welcome, Dr. Cosmos. Thank you so much for joining this month again.
Thank you.
As usual, it takes a lot from your itinerary to be part of all of this.
Yep.
And God is your strength with all this you're traveling.
Thank you.
And we can't wait to see you in Houston. We're ready. Houston is ready for you.
We're,
You
we're getting ready. Once back next tomorrow, I'm getting all my stuff together to start heading to Houston. I hope a lot of people will register and be able to make it to the Houston event because it's going to be very rewarding, So we're going to share the deep experience that has been built over 50 years of, practical experience, not anything theoretical. And I'm confident that if anybody really have true desire to succeed, the person will succeed. The challenges many of us have is that we try to abrogate responsibility. Some of it comes from religious background. Some of them come from, upbringing. Um, but I usually think that when people have reason to have gone through hard time in life, which a lot of people complain things are tough and difficult, but all of those things are just an incubator to help give you the opportunity to look inward. I keep on telling people that there's no ungifted human being, but the problem many of us have is that we try to be somebody else instead of being ourselves. We can look inward. God, when he finished making every one of us, he said we are very good. The seed of a tree is in the seed of a tree. It's not outside of the tree. The fruit of the tree is a seed of a tree. But it will remain a seed unless that tree is planted in a fertile ground. By the same virtue, people who listen to us, who never really take action, will never amount to anything. We are Christians. I am a Christian and I truly believe in God coming to be our helper. But God is not going to make a suit and put it upon you. He had given you 5 billion cells in your brain and asked you to activate that brain. Everything you need to become whatever you want to be is already in you. But if you decide not to take action and keep on, waiting for what we call miracle, God, when he met impotent man, he said, would that be made whole? He said, yes. And you need to make effort. You need to really do something. So what I'm going to be talking to my friends today is that it's not enough to say, I want to be a billionaire. I want to be a millionaire. If you understand how things work and your analytic thinking will kick in and you have self-compassion, you need to ask yourself question, how? You can use mouth to do anything. Your words is important, but your action is much more important than everything you got to say. So I'm going to be talking to my audience this evening to say, yes, belief is important. The first thing you need to do is that your belief in yourself must be greater than your fear to fail. And nobody will do without you first believing in yourself. So that self-belief is important. So I'm not discounting it. But after you have the self-belief, you got to take action. And that you fail is not a problem. Nobody count how many times you fall. It's like either in a game of boxing, any other game, you actually fail when you refuse to stop. Before then, you are not fair. Before then, you have not been defeated. A lot of people see me today and think I'm born and created Costaris. When I have opportunities sometimes, I want to share my testimony with people to let them know how many times I fell, whether it can give them courage. The difference between me and many of them is that I had getting up each time that I fell. It's that me, I'm a practical example of what life is all about. And how do I begin to explain this? I lost my father at the age of 3, at the age of 4. So I had no formal education. Grammar is one of the most difficult things for me. When I started speaking grammar, I used to use cutlass to cut it. Today, I am not perfect, but you can hear me, and people are inviting me to come to university to talk to them. You can see the self-confidence of self-belief. If I had continued to feel inferior within myself, that my grammar is not adding up, I will not make practice. Everything in life is about persistent. Nobody ever amount to anything except somebody who persists and refuses to take no for an answer. So success or passion is infectious. When you are passionate about the thing you want to do, anybody around you can feel the fire burning inside your bone. And that's how universe will conspire, and people that you never expect that will come your way and give you that helping hand that will make you become who you want to be. There are people that are fixed to help you, but they are never going to come to help you. A man that is on the ground who refuses to raise his hand up, nobody is going to pull him up. You must be to give your hand up for people to pull you up. But when you are down on the ground and your hand is not even up, nobody is going to carry you like a stone. So these are the things, and somebody raising you up means that hunger that cannot teach you. First of all is that you have to be hungry. That hunger must be there. Why many people never succeed is that they have no hunger for success, and they are all looking for excuse to convince themselves why they cannot be successful. When you have this self-belief that you can make it, and that hunger is in your heart and drives you every day, I assure you that somebody would just see you and say, look at this guy, look at this guy, and things will happen. These are practical things that happen in my life. So you don't just sit back and just wait for a magic or a miracle to happen. It does not happen like that. And many of us believe in the word predestination, and that's clearly a scripture. But God, the real truth is that God decides your destiny. God planned your destiny, not decide. Plan your destiny. But whether you get there or not will be a decision you make. Because if I put it in another way, you can't make heaven. God already, planned for heaven for you to be in. But whether you are going to be in heaven is that you are going to take some action. And Jesus said, if you love me, keep my commandments. So the things you do will determine your internal destination, where you are going to be. But whether you go to hell today or you go to heaven, it's not God to decide. He had already decided for you to go to hell. But you can choose to go to hell. And nobody will ever bring you. And you cannot say you are not predestinated. So destiny is like a father who can pay a school fees for his children. But whether those children graduate or not will be decisions that they need to make, because they can go to university, join some gangsters, fool around with girls or boys, and you'll be there for 6 years or 7, you are never going to graduate. So you have to make up your mind that I'm going to make a difference in that school. Read your book, apply yourself in the things you want to do. You will be amazed. The things that disturbs you, the subject you think that is so difficult that you avoid the way. If you crack that subject, it will be one of the easiest subjects for you in life, because it gives you hard time. You will be a teacher to that for that subject to other people. But if you continue to avoid it, you are avoiding your brain. What I'm saying is that take up challenges. Don't go out and running away from problem. Welcome problem, because your problem is your opportunity. Your problems are the things that are preparing you for where you are about to go in life. But a lot of people stay on the sideline, keep on just feeling it cannot be done. It cannot be done. That's why that self-belief is important, that you have it and then you push yourself forward. I think I would like to take questions. Let me know what already is in the mind of the people, because they have had me severally, and their questions will help me to be able to address more of the things that they want to do. I tell people, don't work for money, work to learn. Many of the people that succeeded in life discovered this much area. I'm not inventing that statement. If you read the book of Robert Kiyosaki, he mentioned the same thing. Don't work for money, work to learn. I never read Robert Kiyosaki when I did apprenticeship for my uncle. For 5.5 years, I never earned salary, but I listened and followed instruction. And I keep on telling people it's the best university any young man or any young woman will go. But the unfortunate thing is that people lack the discipline that they require to be successful in life. But the truth about life is that life is guided by principle. And anybody who violates principle will pay for it. Principle is inherent law that is in nature. If you put your hand on fire, nobody will burn you. Fire will burn you. And if you can't put your hand on fire and expect not to be burned. If you decide to say you have faith, you can do everything, and you jump out of a 10-story building, you have violated gravity. You will die because you violated gravity. If you jump traffic light and keep on hoping that you will not be hit by a car, it is a question of time. You will momentarily get away with it few minutes or few time, but it won't be long. You will be a dead person because you violated principle. So if you understand law, you understand how things work in life, there's nothing you cannot crack. There's no mountain that is insurmountable, no hill that is too high to climb. These are things I learned that give me confidence, and I can crack any situation. So I encourage young people, don't you don't need to be me, because everybody needs to be themselves. Focus is a key in life. There's nothing I have focused on that I have not been able to break through with it. It doesn't matter whatever it is. So I would like to take questions because I can get talking endlessly. I'm not hearing you.
Thank you for that introduction. Thank you so much. Guys, please, your question on the right side, you will see a question mark. That's where to drop your question. Don't drop in the direct chat. The first question I have a few questions before I start taking other people's questions.
That would be fine, Steven.
The first question is, tell us the journey that led to you becoming an apprentice.
Okay. The journey that led for me becoming an apprentice was life was very unfair to me, and that is the truth. My father died when I was 4, and my mother, as a single parent, could not afford to support me and my senior brother for our education. So my senior brother had to, my mother tried to support my senior brother and allow me to live with his parents. So I lived with my grandparents, and I became very industrious, domestic worker, you know, um, get up early in the morning, do everything that I need to do because of life was totally unfair to me. By the age of 7, I've done many things young people at my own generation could not do. So my uncle, my mother's junior brother, saw this passion, this hunger that is in me, and brought me to Lagos to work for him. Usually, if it is like an extended family, they will have a discussion with my mother to say, how many years are we going to spend? Because it means I'm going to be working pro bono, just get food and get clothed and get to sleep. It's like that salary is being saved for you. At the maturity of that 7 years or 6 years of this apprenticeship, a capital is given to you to set you up. But it's not the capital that really matters. What matters is how much you are able to learn, how much you apply yourself in the things you learn. So I came to Lagos, live in a shop, working on uncle. At the end of 6 years, in 1976, not too far away, 1976, my uncle gave me 200 naira, which is like less than 400 United States dollar. I went with my senior brother, and my senior brother couldn't understand that because he think the money was too small and was of opinion I should leave that money and let us go. But I turned to him and said, do you have anyone to give when we get home? He says no. So I said, why are you asking me to leave this? Part of these things is that I've become a Christian before then. I've learned some of principles of life, Bible principles. Don't neglect the beginning of a small thing. Don't economize things. Quite a number of people have that attitude. And I can tell you through today, with the right mental attitude, there's no mountain in life that is insurmountable. Everything from our mental attitude. How do we perceive things? How do we respond to situations in life? Because you don't have control over what will happen to you. You don't have control you are going to meet when you step out of your house to go anywhere. You are going to meet people. Some of them will not like you. Some of them will like to, feel bad. So, but you have control over how you respond to situation. If somebody continue to not eat at you and you keep on smiling at him, it depends whose pressure is more than each other. You can neutralize him by on smiling at him, because when you smile at people, your smile can be infected. That you know what how bad feeling the person is. At certain table, you will see the energy you are eating by smiling and laughing, looking at him with a cheerful optimism. You will convert him. But if you respond to negative situation, who do you think you are? And you get angry, the whole thing can nobody win in that situation. So I am saying that our mental attitude unlock doors, open secrets of life. So I use these things because I, as a child, I and people begin to look at me and respond in that positive way. It wouldn't be long. I engage in discussion, and that's how you make friends. That's how doors are open. Doesn't matter whichever door that anybody think it cannot be unlocked. Your mindset, the way you think, the way you live yourself is very important to where you are going. So my uncle gave me 200 naira, but frankly speaking, because of the same mental attitude that I was telling you, it was a small money for that day. People who did the apprenticeship usually get $10,000 to $20,000 because it's like 6 years pay you are getting at one time. But I was so excited within me. There is a tough optimism in me. Somebody wonder what is my excitement. My excitement is today I am not under anybody's tutorage anymore. I'm going to do with my life what I want to do. I'm not going to answer my boss tomorrow. So my life is entirely in my hands. So I feel so excited that I can begin to make decisions for myself. And because of the same thing that I'm telling young people, that when you have opportunity to work for people, don't just go work for money, complain and grumble. Begin to do a research, both formal and informal. How can I improve it? While I work for my uncle, I did research, not the way they do them in university. I discovered when my boss is giving me 200 naira, my excitement that some of those things I knew, I'm going to put them into practice today. I'm not going to get a permission to be able to practicalize them. And that was my excitement. And I joined with my senior brother. We worked together. Within 3 months, we were in ideology because of that same way I am thinking. I have a way I think things should be done. And my senior brother just think I am unnecessarily over ambitious and that this cannot work. And that was how we parted way. Because when you know where you are going, you have a vision. You are like somebody who is mad. Nobody can talk you out of it. So, and we parted way. And when we parted way, we didn't make so much money. My what he gave me was 116 naira. And I done with my 116 naira. But it was very clear to me that I have planned and go where I wanted to be in life. By the end of that year, things begin to unfold. And of course, I wrote 5 things I wanted to achieve before I turned 25 as my roadmap of where I am going. And I followed through to every one of them. And by the grace of God, first thing I wanted to do is to live in 3 bedrooms apartment by 18 years. And by 18, truly, I was in 3 bedrooms apartment. My brother is still alive today. He was still living with my mother. I left the home and rented apartment because I had plans and goal. And the next thing I planned to do was to take a wife because I didn't want to fool around. I knew there are things that will stop me from where I am going. And if I have unwanted life and I align with guilt, I won't have confidence. So by 19 years plus, I took a wife. I take a little altar and wedded her. I wanted to have a son 1 year. And of course, I made love to my wife, waiting for a child. But God knew these 2 baby cannot be making baby. They shut the womb. So I faced other plan. I wanted to have a car by 23. By 22, I bought a car. Volkswagen, Volkswagen Passat blue color. And I wanted to be a millionaire by 25. And I made my first 2 million United States dollar at the age of 24. Before 25, I made 2 million United States dollar. The house I still live today, the house I live today, I built it before I turned 26. I finished it by 26 because my first son came at 26. Where I live in Ikoyi, I moved in there at the age of 40. That place you've been to my house in Ikoyi. So
Yeah.
there's something about setting goals and believe that you are going to attain it and work towards it. So those goals is like writing your vision. You can't say, many young men tell me, and I ask them, please, can you share your vision with me? And they say, I think. So, this is, you are having a wishful thinking, because when you put things on paper, you hold yourself accountable. All of the things you wrote in paper may not happen exactly the way you wrote them. But writing them help you to come back every month, every year, to say, where am I to where I'm going? It's like a journey of a voice. All the route that will take you may not be known to you, but you have plans on paper that makes you more responsible to come back and say, hey, wait a minute, I am not focusing on the things I plan to do. So these are things I did with no formal education, without being in a four-corner wall they call school. Nobody taught me. These are where children who learn through the school of life, are more able to take and have plans and work towards those plans, and they achieve it, than many average children who come from middle class or first class family, where they just handed things over to them. They never really show hunger in anything they are doing. They are too careful for life, and then be able to achieve life. I think that's my humble beginning and where I'm coming from.
Come on, guys, can we clap for Dr. Cosmos? That's a very inspiring story. Becoming a millionaire at the age of 24, that's very audacious. And God did it. And I think it's encouraging. But my question will be, a lot of young people watching us will be like, well, me, I went to school. You probably had to do apprenticeship because of the challenges you had. Your parents couldn't afford that, and that some of those watching us even have masters. Some watching us have PhD, and feel life is not fair. They are struggling to build a great business. So I mean, some people even say that was old Nigeria when things were a lot better, and there's a lot more. So the question is this apprenticeship model still a viable thing to do, even if you're a graduate, where you're already through with school? And does this still make sense to go and look for someone else and still be an apprentice under them before you now start your own business? Or it's just good to just start your business without help of any apprenticeship?
Very important question, Stephen. Um, you know, um, I really wish I can give my heart to the young people that I'm talking to. And the reason why I say I really wish I could give my heart to them, there's something in me loaded like a gun. If I can give a heart transplant, young people listening to me this evening, I will really perform a surgery on them. Why do you do things that just speculate for nothing. 5 years, 10 years. If your time, time is like something you lose that you will never recover. So why don't you invest in something that is worth a while? Because a lot of people keep on thinking, I have time. But the shocking thing is that you wake up one day and find that you're already 40 years. Before you know it, you're already 45. And before you know it, you're already 50. And the more you age, the weaker and slimmer your opportunity is. So why don't you focus? There are few people in my village that have been able to be very successful. They went to university, and after they went to university, they've come back to do apprenticeship at trading. Now, there are benefits. University is not completely useless, but nobody taught you how to make money in university. Nobody teaches you about that. Even they taught you about that, you don't have hands-on. You did not practicalize it. You were given theoretical knowledge of what it is. I have said repeatedly, I beat my chest. Nobody that I know that applied himself in it that was not successful. And I try to give an example. If you come out of university and they give you 10 million naira, after you graduate for 5 years, give you 10 million naira and said to start a business, and you get a boy who did 5 years or 6 years apprenticeship, give that boy 2.5 million naira and give the person that went to university 10 million and watch them the next 5 years. I have seen repeatedly the boy that did the apprenticeship have gotten ahead than the people, that the guy that went to university, because you may think 10 million naira is a lot of money. Before you know it, you have squandered that 10 million naira. The first thing that comes into the mind of some of them is that I'm going to go to Dubai. I go to buy something, buy to come and sell. You take 1.5 million or 3 million, buy air ticket. Once the flight take off, going to Dubai, if it's 3 million is your ticket, 1.5 million is finished, is gone. When you arrive Dubai, whatever you buy, whether profitable or not, by the time you come back, your 3 million has gone. You are now beginning to say, how much are you going to make from that product to cover your overhead of ticket? I'm not talking about which hotel you on. That money you took to make that flight ticket, that trip, is enough capital for some other person to start business in Nigeria, not in Dubai. And in 3 years, the profit he made from that business, he would use money from it to go to Dubai. So the boy that did apprentice, his priority is not to go to Dubai. He know what to buy, and he know where to buy. Mind you, in business of buying and selling, knowing where to buy is as important. You don't actually make your profit when you are selling. You make your profit when you are buying. Anything you buy well, you can always sell any day. But if you don't buy well, you will not be able to sell. You are struggling to sell it. So you make your money when you buy when you are the purchasing position, is where your profit is guaranteed. If you don't buy at the right market value, it may be very difficult for you to offload any day, anytime. Now, that time you are doing apprenticeship, you are having a social capital, something not really capital, by the people you are meeting, by the people you are interacting, and they are all observing you. That relationship is a social capital that you can add to whatever you have to launch yourself in the day of your business or the day you start. But people don't get to interact with people. They begin to interact with the same young people that they went to school. They are not really facing the real life. When you go to do apprenticeship, the problem is, can you be disciplined enough and subject yourself to that kind of training? That training of apprenticeship, there are many people today, because if you tell me you've just finished, if you are willing to humble yourself, a typical trader, you will be attracted to him. You have gone to school. There are knowledge you have that he did not have. There are things you will help him to do that he doesn't have the skill to do. But in serving him, you are learning. In serving him, you are learning. And that is where people make mistake. They just think that because they have been in a poor control in school and they could speak grammar, that had added any value on them. No, you can speak grammar because you have been taught British language, but it has not given you common sense. Common sense comes from some difficulties you go in life, and by applying yourself every day. Once you have this thing, there's nobody can stop your soul.
Wow. Come on, guys. Let's give it up. Let's give it up. I thought you guys are going to give it up for Dr. Cosmos for that answer. It's important. Humility is very important in this. You don't go to apprenticeship and you're bragging, I'm a graduate, I'm educated, which is what a lot of us do. Remember, on your right-hand side, you will see the question mark. That's where you should drop your question. And I want to take questions that are related to the subject of apprenticeship. I think they will help more. So drop more questions for me around apprenticeship, around how you can start apprenticeship, because we really want to focus on that topic today. Barry Cleric says, good evening, sir. Please, I'm a married lady working in a fintech company in Lagos. My parent wants me to take over their hotel business as my siblings are outside the country. Please, how do I navigate this? The hotel is in Port Harcourt. She's currently in Lagos and she's married. What's your advice?
Well, frankly speaking, you are married, you have a husband, and you have a family. You need to discuss this with your husband, because it's your parents don't own you anymore. They've given you out to a marriage, so you have your own home. So for you to run that business is something you and your husband must see value to, and something that will help to improve your own life and the life of your husband. So it must fit into your home, what you and your husband has agreed to do. So if you are single, then you are still subject to your parents and what they want you to do. But now that you are married, your first port of call is to your own matrimonial home. It's your own place. So you and your husband must see value added into this in whatever plans both of you have for today and future. That's what I will advise. Any other thing would be you will just need to assist your family, your parents, maybe get somebody you can talk to that will be there and navigate it. But I will not tell you to throw your home in, because throw it away because you have opportunity to go and manage your father's hotel or your parents' hotel. I don't know. This may not be agreeable to you, but I think your number one business today is to maintain your home and build your own home and family. So if you guys are not well to do in pursuit in life, you still need to sit down and get your husband buy-in into it. I, as a person, never believed in separating family, so that both of you could see how you can navigate it and work towards it and be able to see how it can add into what you are doing to make progress.
Very good answer. Umek says, by the way, guys, again, on your right hand side, you see the question mark question. Drop your question there. Then if you want me to pull you up so that you ask your question directly, we will allow a few of you, but you need to indicate that you want us to pull you up, then also send a request so we can pull you up and you can ask your question direct. But please put it around the subject of mentorship, apprenticeship, and entrepreneurship. Umek says, how can I encourage my children who do not see the potential I see in them? They like money a lot.
Well, it's not a problem of children. I think many of those problems come from we parents, okay? Um, um, take it or leave it, like it or dislike it. There are laws of life you cannot take away. An average parents, especially women, love their children to death and they help to destroy them. And what do I mean by that? A woman will tell you, all the things where I suffer, now you want my children to make them begin to suffer again, we don't teach children anymore to save money. If you don't save, you cannot manage. Saving is part of management. It's a culture. We are living in a generation where when children ask their parents for 1,000, the parents give them 3,000 or 5,000. Bible recorded that Jesus Christ, the Son of God, learned obedience through the things he suffered. Many times we think going through hardship and difficulties in life
It's a
is
bad
to
thing.
our no, it is the incubator. It is a building material. It is a raw material for you to be a better human being. Future. If you go through difficulties, you will think outside of the box. If you try a life, and that's how children think, everything that's sweet is good, everything that is bitter is bad. Some adults still think like that. 90% of the thing that's sweet is bad for you. 70% of the thing that is bitter is good for you. So bitter things means difficult things in life, hardship, things that challenge are the things that build you. I keep on telling people, nobody pray that things life throw to him, the things life throw to me. But if I can be honest to you, tell you that if I had all the comfort I wanted, growing up as a boy, I may not have developed the way I have developed. So the death of my father in one way was an obstacle in life, but it was a great opportunity because I started making decisions for myself at a very tender, and I knew the consequences of making a wrong decision. Whereas people have fallback position, I have no fallback position. So I'm a little bit more careful not to be as reckless as some of my other contemporary would be, because I know I'm going to pay dearly for it. I learned saving money, so I can tell you, first I had my own 1,000 naira. I knew when I was able to make 10,000. And once I made 10,000, I wanted it to be 100,000. And I worked towards it. I celebrated my first 100,000, and I planned to make that 100,000 come to 100,000. So I could see the money going, and with excitement, I am keeping it, I'm building it, and I'm not removing from it. So it's because of where I'm coming from. I fought poverty to come away from it. Recently, I was in Zimbabwe and we went for some a cruise in Victoria. A lady was serving on that boat. She just came to my side and said, do you have any allergy? I suppose he's asking about allergy for food, but he didn't nail it down on food. I said, yes, I have one allergy. He said, well, I would like. He said, what is the allergy? I said, I have allergy for poverty. She said, I said, I have allergy for poverty. She said she identified. She also doesn't like it. So he said, no, it's not that. He's asking me whether I have any allergy for food. I said, no, I eat everything. Everything that moves. Because he didn't nail it down, when she said any allergy. And truly, I have allergy for poverty. I don't like it. Because poverty is a demon. Let me call its correct name. Anything that torments you is a demon. So it can be pain, it can be sickness. So if you are tormented, if landlord has to come, your heart beat, it's a torment. So not having money to pay the landlord as coming, it's a demon. So you call it by its correct name, so that if you don't like it, you pray and don't want to have anything to do with it. Many of us have died prematurely because of our heartache, of not having financial independence. When you are financial control, you are like a man in authority. You have dominion. You are not even afraid of sickness, because if sickness comes, you know you have money to go to hospital. If you are not, there are many fears that left you. So there are level of peace of mind wealth give people. But rich men's children rely on their father's wealth and have that level of peace of mind. But once their father is not there, the source is not there, that disease comes back from them. And that's why they should not rely on their father. They should solve the problem themselves and be in super control of their life. When you do that, except you have an accident, you are even guaranteed longevity, because you don't develop high blood pressure easily. It is so much stress of not knowing what tomorrow will bring, not knowing where the next meal is going to come for, can kill you. So the area people begin to conserve, like learning to save money from childhood, part of the problem we have is parentally delinquent. Many parents are delinquent in the way they raise their kids. They've not raised them to be responsible, to start taking a responsible position from childhood. They've not raised them with hardship, to let them know that things doesn't just fall on your laps. So when these children, when I grew up, I used to get cane in school before I would ask my grandfather for school fees. The teacher had to cane me. Why is the teacher caning me? Am I the person going to pay the school fees? But he had to cane me to be able to talk to my grandfather, because I understand you don't come to my grandfather and start talking about money. He told you it doesn't grow on a tree. Because so for me to ask him for money, I knew some of the industrious work that I have to do and show him the pain of the cane. Then forget my generation. He get this stuff that he put in his nose. It's like he says it's not correct without it. He will put it. Sometimes tears come into his eyes. Then he asks you, "What are you talking about?" Then you tell him again, it's about school fees. When you school fees like that, will you go to that school and not study properly? Will you go to that school and fail? But before these children even ask for school fees, their parents already paid. Give them extra money and those things. So when they get there, they are playing, because they never really think. They just grew up believing that there's something her mother or his father had that money comes from. So teaching your children from the one that money is a resource, and resources are not in plenty supply. It is depletable and can easily be used up. So teaching them how to conserve it and managing it is the best skill you can give them.
Beautiful. Guys, come on, celebrate Dr. Cosmos for that good answer. Bethel CB Bright says, "Good evening, sir. What were the challenges you faced as an apprentice, and how did you navigate them?" I think this is a good question.
The challenges are many. During my apprenticeship time, my uncle that I live with didn't even was also struggling. He didn't own a home. He lived in his uncle's place in 88 Briefy Street in Apapa Road. His uncle lived in one bedroom where he lived with his wife. They used the curtain to separate the parlor and as the bedroom. So my uncle only keep his box there to go to take a cloth to go to bathroom to go and change. He doesn't sleep there. He had to hang around. When everybody has gone to bed, he put a man in the passage to sleep. So it's like somebody who is being trained that have a pet. So he went to bring me. If he doesn't have a bedroom, you just imagine where my own would be. So I ended up sleeping in 88 Griffith Street, in bus stop, where there's no fan, no air conditioner, no window, no bathroom. Sorry to say, you may not like it. We had to get a pole to do the tape and throw it away in the morning and have a bottle to pee. So I live that kind of life. So when you live those kind of life, you will run away from it. It's not the most comfortable place to be. You will want to come out of it. But trust me, I'm a Christian. I don't need to tell you a lie. Early in the morning, when my uncle come and open that shop, by 5, 6 o'clock, I've showered on the road, the street of at a Butemeta, and children wear long socks, wear trousers and get, and some of them put hand over their mouth One of them used left hand and said, look at this rat shop. One day he was laughing. I put my left hand. I said, 7 years from today, I will employ you. That's the kind of determination I have. So, and true to the fact, some of those boys laughing at me going to school, some of them may be working for me today. I may not know who they are anymore, but they may be part of my staff. But the difficult name of you don't have enough food to eat. You know, when you are young, it's like you never get better food. So I work hard, try to get people to go and buy food for them. They eat small and give me the remaining. I take all the money, I save it. So there are many difficulties. I didn't go to school, so I couldn't even write properly. My grammar are not adding up. You can know my tenses are not agreeing today. You can imagine what it was 50 years ago. I used cutlass to cut it, but I have self-confidence. I've never looked down on myself, regardless of my grammar adding up or not adding up.
Yes.
Because it is the belief I have in myself that people accept and responded to me that way. And the more people laugh at me, the more I find out why are they laughing at me, I improve. So I teach young people to have self-confidence, to have self-esteem. Don't just say, because the way you are brought up, you are like an incubator chicken. You are small things, you say you are depressed. Some of those things that should toughen you and make you hard to face life. You need to face life with top optimism. So my apprenticeship day was difficult. Trying to believe in myself and forget people laughing at me, taking the abuse people put on me, refusing to accept whatever people say to me. Some people told me that I am half-bred monkey, that my senses, I can never be anything important in life. I could start crying, but once they finish saying it, in my mind, I said, God, I wish and I pray that this person will not be dead so he can live to see me tomorrow.
So, yes, so
I pray for anybody to die. I pray that the person will be alive. Because the thing that pains your enemy most is to see you become successful. If it's there, anything good that comes out of you. So this tough optimism comes from hardship of life. Desire that I will make it regardless of whatever life throw at me. Listen to me. When I grew up certain time, I will meet people. I said, can you help me do this? The person asked me, why must I help you? I said, you will be glad to help me because you will share from my success. And some of them will begin to laugh like, where did this boy get this kind of sense? Because I knew the person will lose out. Because whether you help me or not,
I'm going to succeed.
But if you did help me, you will share part of it. My success story will be incomplete without you. So I told the person, I said, you will be glad to help me. You will be glad. And as many as did help me sit back today and they feel glad that they played a role in my life. And those who did not are regretting because they have nothing to add to the success story that who I am. And let me tell you, don't be confused about this because sometimes I talk and some people misunderstand me. Some people came to me and this. It must not be me, but I assure you again that I've never seen anybody that are serious-minded, that want to succeed, that universe has not conspired to make that person succeed. It's not just enough to say, I want to succeed. And let me share some of the things to you that I did. And success people play by the same rule. If you go to school, use your brain. You mustn't come to the level where people like me came from. But you can succeed today being a barber. I don't know how many knew a guy, let me remember his name, Charles Anudu. Charles Anudu used to work either in Guaranteed Trust Bank. It was just because he couldn't find a decent place to cut his head. He cut his hair. Charles Anudu, while working in Guaranteed Trust Bank, opened a barber salon. When he finished work in Guaranteed Trust, he goes to his barber salon. He got his wife to be a cashier. He helped to cut some other people's hair and hire some people to cut hair. These are success stories. He got so much customer because he improved hair cutting much better than what other people used to do. He holds the whole floor of a building. Take the second floor, take the third floor. According to him, some people after cutting hair, seeing the improvement they have made in it, will not only give him a tip, but they will also, the wife will collect payment, they will also give the wife a tip. At the time, he asked himself, does it make a sense that I still work in the bank, or do I take this as a business? Find out what I'm telling you. It's one of the richest Nigeria today, but he started from hair cutting, and he had developed and grow a multinational like myself. So, there's nobody that set up his mind to be successful that will not do any low job, no matter whatever it is. Because you are not doing that job as your final bus stop. You are doing that job as your setup thing to like what do we call it, to jumpstart you. And then you take it to another level from that place. The way you manage that resources will actually be the first sign to show whether you are a skillful entrepreneur and where you are ultimately going and where you want to be. So I've seen people develop things in different ways. People like me carry scale where I put a weight on the ground and somebody will climb on it. I collect 10 kobo. And some people were laughing at me. What are you going to be doing with 10 kobo carrying scale? But because I made that money in a hard way, I'm able to manage it in a more reasonable way. Let me share something that may help those of you listening to me today. When I got married to my wife came from an average family. His senior brother was a medical doctor. His uncle was a medical doctor. They owned a hospital in our village. But she chose to marry me, and I was teaching her financial management and discipline of managing resources. When my wife wanted to cook soup and come to ask me for money for making soup, I said, Dee, can you please give me a list? And she has to write list: oil, pepper, tomato, salt, and I will keep the list and give her money. After 3 days or 4 or a week, she will come back again. she want to make another soup. I said, can I have a list? I'm not exaggerating. I'm a Christian. I'm telling you the truth. And she will make another list. And when she give me the list, unknown to her, I kept the former list. I will compare it. And I said, but D, you bought oil last week. Why are you buying another palm oil? She will explain, we cook yam vegetable. And yam vegetable consume much oil. So you can see how prudent I am in managing cash. I never spend money that I'm not written down. And it's not like I write it the way you went to school and write it clearly. But I can read my own writing. If I enter taxi, if I enter bus, if I drank Coca-Cola, so I'm able to know how much I spend in each day. I never dip hand inside my purse and spend money in any careless way. So I can tell you precisely how much I spend in a day, how much I spend in a week. These are discipline that many young people or rich people of my generation lack. So if you don't hold yourself accountable to that position, there are limits where you can go. Because that money starts from kobo. It's the way you manage kobo. If you manage well, another one will come. If you manage well, another one will come. God created a human being to be a manager. Many people have not grown because they have mismanaged. Anything you mismanage, you lose. Your wife, your spouse, your business. It is all thing is about management. Nigeria is where it is today because of mismanagement, because we have leaders who do not understand how to manage and deploy resources, who are wasteful, who just think money grow in a tree. One of the richest countries with all the human and natural resources it has, but have bad managers. And that's where we are today. So, next point. Stephen, I can't hear you. I think you are muted.
Guys, celebrate Dr. Cosmos one more time if you got value. Remember, we are hosting him live here in Houston, Texas on the 21st and 22nd of September. He'll be speaking live along with Damon John of Fubu, who started his $6 billion empire from just $40. Right, alongside myself and other great speakers. You cannot afford, if you're in North America, whether you're in Canada, fly down. You are in America, fly down. Even if you're not in Houston, fly down. He's coming all the way from Nigeria. Okay, what does it cost you to come all the way from Canada or from Maryland or from Pittsburgh or from Damian John is flying down from New York to Houston for this conference. So you should fly down and make it. And if for any reason you can't come physically in person, you can attend virtually as well. The event is a hybrid event, 2-day event, power-packed. You're meeting wealthy people sharing principles that have helped them to build wealth. We call it the Global Wealth Festival. How do you sign up? We're giving 30% discount code. Go to www.stephenactel.com/GWFUSA. Use that code, discount, and you will be able to get a 30% discount today. So go sign up. It's going to be one of the most transformational events for people like ourselves, people of color. It's cost us over $200,000 to put it together. It's really, really specially planned. We're all over the media houses here in America. It's big, so you don't want to miss it for anything, right? And The next question, by the way, if you have more questions, I think we'll take a few more before we wrap up. On the on the question mark on the right, that's where to drop your question and you'll get to be answered. Being a successful businessman now, are there any businesses you have failed at while starting up? And what do you think you will do differently with the knowledge you have now? This is from above. Good question. I like good questions like this.
Yeah. Yes, I have done some businesses that I failed. If you want to know, I was one of those people who invested in finance house those days. I used to own a company called Costaris Finance and Investment Limited. I am the major shareholder also in Morgan Savings and Loans Limited. I used to run a factory where I manufacture motorcycle roller chain. There are businesses have closed down. I am not afraid to try things, and I have also failed. So it's not everything that I have touched that we are successful from day one. And if you want to know, the one that you may really be shocked at is that I've also run bankruptcy. So don't be afraid to think that the world has come to an end where you run bankruptcy. The person talking to you, landlord has locked up my store, and landlord has kicked me out of house. I've owed landlord that I couldn't pay, and they locked me out. So I've gone through financial embarrassment. I know what I'm talking about, but none of them change my resolve. None of them break my will, determination to succeed. So if you are in a place today where your heart is panting because month is ending, I've been there. I couldn't pay landlord for 6 months. And if you never be embarrassed when you have an angry landlord and you can't pay, that's why I tell you that poverty is a demon, because it torments you, keep you awake in the night. So you got to fight to overcome them. What did I do different? I was not a man child. I was not born an adult. Some of the things some of you do as young people, I did. When I earn money early in life, try to enjoy and did some certain things that I mismanaged those money that I could have managed much better. But I learned and quickly make correction. How I wish many of you will learn from some of those mistakes and don't even get there at all. To know that you need to defy your gratification and don't just want to show that you have arrived, to buy good cars and buy nice shoes to let people know you are the talk of the town, where you mismanage resources. I earn money early, and once people see you have money, they bring proposals to you. There are some bad investments I made. There are some bush people show me, and I throw money into the bush that I needed to have run my business to grow. So, because I have money, and I thought the money will always come the same way I made them early, and I never planned. So, that's why I said, you will make mistake. Forgive yourself and pick up your spirit.
Yes.
Don't fall because you made a mistake. Just say, this will never happen to me again. So I made mistakes. So you are not seeing an angel. If I tell you that I was born, and from the day I was born, anything I wish is coming, I'm telling you a lie. I don't know if I answered that question.
You answered more than perfect. Come on, guys. I thought you were going to be celebrating Dr. Cosmos because it's hard to see successful people this vulnerable, right? And I'm happy he's been as vulnerable as possible, opening up to us. And like I said, this is just the beginning. You're going to learn more at the Global Wealth Festival taking place Saturday, 21st and 22nd. Remember, just register on the site. I've pinned the site, www.stephenakintayo.com /GWFUSA. It's already pinned here, www.stephenakintayo.com /GWFUSA. Our next person asking questions, asking in person, is one of my business partner here in the US. By the way, Pastor Remy, I hope you are coming physically to meet Dr. Cosmos, right, at the conference. Eh? So, yes, go ahead, ask your question.
It's like Pastor Remy is driving or somebody is driving you. Be careful. So
if you want to, do we take another question? If you want to park and ask your question,
pull
yes,
up. So
exactly. You can pull up and ask your question. I'll probably just take one other normal question that has been typed here. Somebody was greeting you, Kicks. He said just a few hours ago he passed the Koschari showroom on the island. You know, just greeting you. It says, please, sir, what is your advice to someone who left for abroad with a clear divine direction but got stranded due to migration challenges? Interesting question. Are you sure it was clear divine direction?
Well, it's unfortunate that quite a number of our young people, the only ambition they have today is to get a visa and leave the country.
Unfortunate.
Very unfortunate. Very unfortunate. The leaders also have to be blamed. But let me tell you, from practical experience, it didn't just happen today. The first time, my first trip to United States of America was 1979. I came to America. I was a young boy. I was in my early 21 or 22. And everybody tried to talk me not to return back to Nigeria and convince me. I have said this in this channel before. Then when you come to America, you get Social Security. They don't say valid for work or not valid for work. So I still have my American Social Security today that I got 40 something years ago. And I went to driver's school. I went to drive a driver's test, have driving license. So I have completely integrated in the system because all they ask you for in America is your ID. You show them your driver's license and the paper. So I had them. So some people ask me, why do you want to go back to Nigeria? You can go to school here. You can get student loan since you are not educated and all of that. But they didn't know before I visit America that I already have plan written down on paper where I want to be in life. So before the time I came to America, Nigeria television only start by 6 p.m. Then that by 12 p.m. I arrived in America in the morning. I saw television talking and people are. I never see that before. But I decided to go back to Nigeria against every opinion and suggestions people gave me. Why? Because I am a Nigerian and I believe that I will support Nigeria. Let me tell you how to have positive mind thinking. Even when, as bad as Nigeria is, I'm not one of those who say this country is useless completely. Anything you cause and you believe is useless and is of no good can never be productive to you. There is power in your speech. These are laws and principles you must learn. Why we cause sin and disease is because we don't want them. So don't cause Nigeria, no matter how hopeless it is. Admit that things are hard and tough, but show that optimism that tomorrow will be better than today.
Yes.
People like me pray every day, actually 2 times in a day, morning and evening, invoking the prophecy of Elton that Nigeria will keep. Even this morning I prayed about it, and I'll still pray tonight that Nigeria will be one of the best countries in the world, and people will be taking us behind and say, come and show us the way of righteousness. Today, it's almost impossible, no sign for you to believe it will happen. But read your Bible. Can a nation be born in one day?
Yes.
It was a question. You need to answer it. It takes God one day. All these things you see happening, God can clean this country. It has to. Nigeria has never been as worse as it was before there were French Revolution. The leaders are so detached from the people. When they told the leaders that there was no bread, they said, why don't you give them a cake? We are coming to that place. They told the people have choice between cake and bread. That's the leaders we have today are thinking that way. They don't know that some people cannot see bread to drink Coca-Cola as a meal. And they are living in luxury. They are so detached. When the people get it to their nose, everybody that have tested politics in Nigeria will be on the run. Nigeria is well overdue for a revolution. If they don't change, if they don't come up to their own mind, there is a date in calendar. Nobody believed what will happen in Ghana happen. Lawrence was in a dead role. Lawrence was in a dead role when some of his officers released him and he entered one jet fighter and went up and asked all the leaders to surrender. If they don't surrender, he's bombing them. He overtook the country in the air and came down and changed Ghana. They have never been the same thing today. It will happen in Nigeria. Whether, no matter how